today's episode, you guys, is brought to you by Perfect Storm Real Estate Specific Software. It's the website I use in my business. I'm actually a partial owner within the company that's been able to give my input to help create a piece of software that is uber effective at lead generation in our real estate businesses. That website, www.perfectstormnow.com. Go check that out. It's amazing, epic front-end lead generation site that's extremely affordable for real estate agents out there. Also, today's episode is brought to you by our 90-day mastery bootcamp. If you're in the real estate industry, if you're wanting to take your business to the next level, this is a gnarly, crazy experience. We go through for 90 days straight. There's there is 13 total sessions that we go through. Each weekly session is about 2 to 3 hours long every single week. Plus, you have daily access to me going through the experience through the group. So to check out more about that program, we roll those out about every 90 days. We stagger them once in a while, but we do about 3 or 4 of those every single year. We have one starting September 28th, so next Monday, which is the last one in 2015. So if you want to spend the next 90 days with me, about 40 hours of just crazy epic content helping your business take it to the next level, go to www.90daymastery.com. That's our sales page. You can see testimonials, learn more about the product, and register and sign up right there. If you are signing up, make sure to use the promo code LiveMastery, all caps, all together, all one word, LiveMastery. It saves you $500. It makes that whole entire 90-day coaching experience only $997 for you guys. So, all right, let's jump on in. What is up, my peeps? Joshua Smith here with another episode of Leveling Up. So every single week here on Leveling Up, I talk about different strategies, different tactics that I use in my life that I recommend, that have worked well for me to help me continue leveling up, to make sure that I'm never getting comfortable, to make sure that good is the worst enemy to greatness, right? So to make sure that I'm not falling into the whole trap of good enough and continue leveling up in my world and in my life. So today I want to talk to you guys about what I think the 3 most important things that you can be focusing on right now, whether you want to look at this as like for self-leadership or whatever it may be. These 3 things are the most critical things that, like, for me right now in my world, these are my only focus. These 3 things are what get my attention and are what I'm striving to perfect in my world, or at least be the best I possibly can be, operate at my full potential. So what are these 3 things? Number 1 is your ability to learn. You've got to increase your ability to learn, right? As entrepreneurs, as human beings, especially more so today than ever before, we all have access to the same tools. So your ability to learn faster, to be able to implement faster, to be able to learn better than everybody else is going to have a massive determining factor on how successful you become in this world. So I want to be able to have the master my ability to learn. A book, you guys, if you haven't read it yet, absolutely brilliant, amazing book, is called The Talent Code. So the Talent Code is really just that. It studies how we learn. They go out there and they study all the top talent hotbeds all over the planet, and these areas that are putting out these quote-unquote prodigies. Well, there is no such thing as a prodigy, right? It's how they learn, the style that they learn. It's myelination within the neurons in the brain. That book is really brilliant on breaking down how you can learn at the fastest realm that you can learn on. So go check out that book. It's one of my favorite books. But master the ability to learn. Be focused on that. Like, okay, if I'm going to start reading books, well, why wouldn't I learn on how to read books most effectively? Like, I don't want to just get through the book. I want to get from it. So let me learn and figure out how I'm going to learn the best, and then also understand what your learning style is. How do you learn? Is it from being in a textbook? Is it being in a conference? Is it being on video? Whatever it is. Like for me, I do so much better with audio learning than I do with reading. Like if I'm reading, I'll read quite a bit, but I do the best by far with audiobooks, right? So understand yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses, how you learn, but be focused on that. Trying to always actively, consciously, intentionally increase your ability to learn. Number 2, focus, right? So controlling your focus. The power happens in the now. Right now in today's world, it's worse than ever. People's minds are freaking everywhere. They're so scattered. They're so distracted. Nobody's in the moment. Nobody's in the now. People's focus is so diluted. So what does that mean? Well, that means right now, strike while the iron's hot. While everybody else's focus is diluted, if you're uber focused, you're able to get that much further ahead than everybody else. So guard your focus as if your life depends on it, because it does. And with your focus, don't focus on tons of different things. Focus on a few things, right? I'm going to focus on a few things only. I'm going to do those things brilliantly, and then maybe once I accomplish those, take on something else. But start guarding your focus. Anything that detracts your focus, you got to ditch from your world, right? So if I have maybe it's a human being, maybe it's an old friend, maybe it's somebody that I know that's in my life that's trying to detract my focus. Dude, leave, follow, or get the hell out of my way. They're gonna get their ass leveled, right? If they're in my way, and I mean that in the nicest way possible. I mean, what it basically means is I'm just not gonna involve myself with them anymore. What if it's an activity? Always be asking yourself, okay, where's my attention going? Where's my focus right now? Where is my attention? Whatever you focus on is where you wind up. There's an awesome story Darren Hardy did in Success Magazine with I think it was Jeff Gordon, top race car driver. And he's like, what's the biggest lesson that you've learned, or biggest lesson that you want to share with our audience? And he said, where you focus on is where you wind up in life. He goes, I learned this the hard way. I learned this when I was racing cars. If I focus on the wall, wham, I wound up in the wall. So I learned to not focus on the wall. So where you focus on is where you wind up. So if you're focused on, your comfort zone, if you're focused on, partying, if you're focused on whatever, entertainment, you're not going to achieve that success that you want. Guard your focus if your life depends on it. Protect that. Make sure you're protecting your mindset and protecting that focus. Lastly is discipline. So I can't control what other people are doing. I can only control myself. There's my business, your business, God's business. The only business that you control is your own, right? So for me, I look at myself as to become the person that I want to become while I exist on this planet. I know I'm capable of becoming. I've got to be the most disciplined cat that I possibly can be, the most disciplined leader that is around that I can possibly be to level up with. So that's something I'm always looking at. Always focusing on my discipline, always checking out my discipline. And I'll do like crazy little shit. Like I'll just give up things. Like something that I love, I'll give it up for 90 days straight just to test myself, to make sure that I have the discipline so that I know that nothing controls me, I control it. And then when I'm disciplined, I no longer then will ever listen to emotions. When you're disciplined, you listen to your conscious, your rational self. Okay, here's what I need to accomplish. I'm disciplined. Whether I want to do it or not, I'm going to follow this path. If you're not disciplined, you're going to give into your emotions. If you give into your emotions, if you live your life based on your emotions, you're going to have a life of mediocrity. You're never going to level up. So right now, again, you guys stay disciplined, work on your discipline, focus on your discipline. This is kind of a little bit of a name-dropping episode here, but a dope book on this is The Why Power Instinct. I'm sorry, not the white power, the willpower instinct. And it's a great book on how to increase your willpower, increase self-discipline, and a lot of it's through meditation. Your meditation can do some very, very powerful things of growing, expands your frontal cortex, allows you to be in the moment and focus more right now, and allows you to develop that discipline. So that's a great book if you're wanting to grow that discipline. So like for me, like right now, like these are the 3 focuses that I have. Ability to learn, focus, and discipline. So when I'm sitting there doing my self-development or trying to grow in my world, I'm trying to grow in these areas every single day, all day long, and paying attention to this stuff, because this is what's going to make the biggest difference, and especially in my opinion, going forward, more so than ever, make a more important difference than it ever has before, really, in humanity, right? So anyway, you guys, focus on these 3 things. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Keep kicking ass, and we'll see you in the next episode of Leveling Up. Take care.